Like I said, that is your guys' choice if you want to never eat there again based off an ad from the UK and Ireland that was made by a bunch of Gen Zers who were encouraged by the fans to continue posting unhinged things and crazy stuff. Every single social media page, you see thousands of comments for Kentucky Fried Chicken saying, why can't you be more like KFC Espanol or Portugal? Which I've been saying for years that those two accounts have been really crazy and they have not embodied what Kentucky Fried Chicken should be or what Uncle Harley is. I believe they are a misrepresentation, but they are for their region of Kentucky Fried Chicken, not the United States. I spoke out against the Canadian ads in recent years for turning Uncle Harley into this hot-headed moron from Louisiana that didn't sound like him. Now, the temper, I could appreciate that because they did get his temper right, the hot-headedness, but his voice and the way that he was acting in these ads did not embody Colonel Sanders. It was a misrepresentation and an insult, especially with how much he loved Canada, so much so that he lived there for 4 to 5 months out of the year, and he maintained the franchises there until 1972, then gave them the charity so that all proceeds would go to charity, and building a family health care center there in Canada as well under his name. All these things that he did good for his community up there, highly respected man in Canada, and they disrespect him like this in their ads. I spoke out against the Kentucky Fried Chicken USA ads, changing him from several different actors, portraying him as an idiot, misrepresenting him to the public, then sexualizing him. People encouraged the sexualization of Colonel Sanders through fan art and encouraging the dating simulator, encouraging the stripper ad for Mother's Day, encouraging the Mario Lopez soap opera, whatever the heck that was, encouraging the George Hamilton soap operas, encouraging the romance novel, encouraging bearskin rugs to be made of him. All kinds of things. Some of their marketing has been good, but a lot of it has been disrespectful to the Colonel, in my opinion, which is why I thank them for doing that, because if they weren't doing that, I wouldn't be on here educating people of who he actually was. If they'd never disrespected Uncle Harley, I never would have gone on the internet and told people who I was and who my family was and what Colonel Sanders was all about. And then we would all be sitting here not giving a care in the world of who he was and even forgetting his story completely. I wouldn't have been caring because the brand wouldn't have disrespected him in the way that they did that got me to care. So, again, I thank them for those ads. I even thank the UKI for this ad because it's further proof that I could do better. Petition to have me in the ads. I started a petition on change.org a few years ago when they did the change.org petition to have Jack Harlow as one of the KFC ambassadors for their commercials. And that one worked. When I saw that that worked, I made one for myself. And I had maybe 80 supporters on it. It failed, and we just kind of let it go. So if someone else wants to make it, I will share it to my page, and we'll push it heavily to see how many signatures we could get on there to show that we want a Sanders member of the family in the commercials representing the Colonel, his history, the brand's history, and the food. Especially if ads like this are not what we want to be seeing. But this ad exists because we have been encouraging the behavior. We've encouraged it when KFC US page was pretending to be the Colonel and saying they were down bad for the Twitter bird, and Sonic the Hedgehog's verified account got in on that action before you could pay for verification. We encouraged all of this behavior, so for all they had in their mind, we can make unhinged commercials, people will love it, or maybe they'll hate it, but it gets the views. It gets them talking about it. They are not serving you humans. They are not dipping humans in a river of gravy or oil and feeding you them. That is not what is happening. Kentucky Fried Chicken uses chicken from Pilgrim's Pride and Tyson Farms. They use fresh, never frozen chicken and young chickens. At least this is the way it was when Uncle Harley ran it, and it's how they advertise what they do today. And as far as I know, that is for the KFC USA chicken. I don't know about UKI or Canada where they get their chicken from. I don't know if Tyson and Pilgrim's Pride has branches all over the world in those countries so that they can supply the food. But this is the information. The AKFCF has been around since the 1970s. It has been called the AKFCF before they changed Kentucky Fried Chicken's name to KFC officially. It's abbreviated for Association of Kentucky Fried Chicken Franchisees. And I know Kentucky Fried Chicken does care about their history because this is sent out to all the franchisees. It has an entire timeline of Kentucky Fried Chicken's history starting in 1929. All I say is it's your right to boycott it if you want to. But I wouldn't allow this commercial from the UKI to make you decide here in America. Well, I'm not sure where you're from, but if you're in America, I want to let that be the deciding factor. Don't give in to the conspiracy theorists. That's what they want. They want the clicks and views. That's what all these people who are spreading misinformation about my family history are wanting. That's what these conspiracists are wanting you to do. I'd like to see a day where Kentucky Fried Chicken is on top as the top chicken chain again. I'd like to see another heyday for them. And I think having me involved in it in some way is going to help with that, because it's another step into their roots from stepping away from their roots by moving to Texas or by changing their oil, changing the flour. We need to take a step back to the roots of Kentucky Fried Chicken. It used to be the greatest thing. Now it's just another brand to a lot of people, and just another brand's posting crazy things on their social media and on their advertisements. And if we want to see a change in that, let's make a change in it. If you wanted to say that you boycott the brand unless they hire me in the ads and we get back to doing respectful, better advertising the way the Colonel used to do it, I'd be on board with that. But I'm not going to be on board with boycotting the brand over this advertisement, especially if the reason is because you think they're selling you human meat. And that's just my opinion.